Call of Duty players have the biggest social media following out of any other esport. And that is because we took advantage of social media from the jump. Why? Because we wanted to share plays. And we weren't even professional players. You know, the skill and all that, like you're either born with it or you're not. And I'll tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, I am not, right? I'm not in the top 1%. The way that these guys we're witnessing this weekend, those are in the top 0.00001% of skill.
To become a Call of Duty World Champion, it takes a lot of hard work. You're putting in 10 to 12-hour days, you know, sometimes 7 days a week. You're doing a lot of research on other teams, kind of just gelling with your team every day, building that chemistry, and making sure you're as perfect as can be. So it's just like any other sport or anything like that. You're trying to be the best in the world, and to do that, it takes a lot of time and sacrifice. In the CDL, there's 12 different teams, 4 players per team, 48 players in the league at one time. It's very cutthroat. Like I said, there's always the challengers players, amateurs trying to take spots and make their way into the league.
There's one life, the last one alive, and he's trying, he's gone!
People call me Thanos. I like to tweet out the gifts and say I'm inevitable because I always find a way to be in conversation for winning. And honestly, I just thrive off that energy. Like I said, negative comments or people in the crowd booing me, there's nothing like winning in front of that, to be honest, so yeah.
I know how they play. I taught those kids how to play Call of Duty, so don't forget that. All right, let's get that straight.
An hour. There's a lot more to it than just sitting there and playing for a couple hours a day. Because we have a really strict schedule. We literally are scrimming 7 days a week for 5 or 6 hours at a time, and then after that we also have to put our individual time outside of that, playing ranked play or playing public matches, just to make sure that we're completely on top of our craft.
We always use hand warmers at events because it's usually pretty cool in the rooms. They got to keep it cool for the equipment. Your hands get cold sometimes, so it helps out to just be shaking them in your hands and stuff to stay warm and stay loose.
At home, I used to always take my shoes off while I play. I'm always playing in socks. So when I'm on stage or when I'm practicing or whatever, I always have to have my shoes off. It's just habits, pretty much.
Gate, post that. A lot of these players are at the base level super cracked. They're very good. It's kind of there's usually a direct correlation between pretty good play and the sheer number of hours in the game.
I'm staying at RV. I'm blocking over.
Long on me, bro. Long, one short.
I'm seeing me cut. Done. We cut done.
In Call of Duty, we definitely have our own language, the way we talk to each other and stuff like that. We have certain keywords that we use. That's probably honestly one of the biggest aspects I would say of practice is learning how to communicate as a team. So I'll be communicating, they're spawning back blue, they're spawning back blue. My teammates instantly receive that information, know where the enemies are gonna be at compared to where they're at. We'll take a timing to get pushed up on the map and help, we always say suffocate them, put them in bad scenarios and don't let them get comfortable and kind of trap them in a corner of the map.
Gaming can actually increase psychological effects like decision-making fatigue and art recency like memory. The more you activate your hand-eye coordination, the better you are at making long-term decisions, which is why a gamer can play for 12 hours straight on a win streak and climb the ranks, but a football player is probably going to be burnt out after 2 games.
I've definitely reached a point of burnout before. But I've kind of learned what my threshold is, and I know what time I can put in to where I'm not at the point of burning out. I watch my calories, I try to eat as healthy as possible. Back in the day when I was first starting, I was not as strict about it.
If you can really get that under control and eat healthy, it will help your mental and everything so much more.
This is a world championship trophy from my Black Ops 4 year. And this is supposed to mean the highest of highs. And then I also have a Lil Peep tattoo because I used to listen to a Lil Peep a lot throughout high school to kind of help me mentally because I wasn't, I wasn't the best mentally in high school. But this also represents the lowest of lows. So it kind of just shows me life can always get better.
Now we have a sports psychologist that helps us, like we talk to every week, and that's really helped as well.
Neurologically, you can imagine that certain parts of our brain are overfiring, but other parts of our brain are essentially starving. It's going to string you out. It's going to cost you. It's going to be difficult for you to actually be in a world outside of that. We also know with particular types of hormones, especially dopamine, if it spikes and fires too hard, the after effects are ones where you feel very depressed. So in those situations, how do you deal with that, right? The after effects, the hangover, if you will, from a world that you're in maybe 12 hours a day or 8 hours a day. You can kind of see why you need a way to just relax, to chill, to just sleep.
The biggest thing that we brought to the table was a path and a blueprint as to how to best serve your audience. Create content, be relatable, share as much as you can with your audience. They're there to support, and all they want from you is a little bit more time, a little bit more time to get to know you, right? What's your wife's name? What's your daughter's name? What is your girlfriend's name? How many dogs do you have? What kind of car do you drive? They're looking for more relatable things to support you even more.
If you have an esports team that's winning tons of stuff, that gives you clout in the gaming world and the sports world in a way, because you're winning titles, you're actually out there, you're competing, you're really in the mix. But then the content creator side gives you that relatability and the engagement and the deeper connection with fans, and they're creating the funny content that bonds their audience to them. And I think having both of those is really key. FaZe Clan wouldn't be FaZe Clan if it was just one or the other.
FaZe is very strong, and it only takes but a mere business move to get them back on track. And that's a fact, period. To be successful in this industry, you need eyeballs.
We are going to have Optic Texas versus Atlanta FaZe.
Yo, whoever wrote this script, you're crazy, bro.
Good as gold, baby. That's going to be coming up.
Optic and FaZe is one of the most important rivalries in esports.
They're about to bang the drums. And when you bang those drums, you know what happens.
There is a rivalry brewing on this stage. These two teams have battled through COD esports history.
Competition-wise, right? The fans, the green wall, no one's bigger than them. The rivalry was always going to be there. When you put all the social media following of every single esports team in the world, there's only two that stand at the top. And it's two Call of Duty teams that begin in the sniping scene. I don't like it when they beat my team. And I'm sure it's the same way on the other side. So we take competition very seriously, as do they. So it is an honor to match their intensity when they go against us. And I'm sure they appreciate the competition on this side also.
You can have the most talented individuals, but if you can't put it together and play like a team, you're not going to have success. And that's why we're so dangerous, is because we not only have the most talented players in the game, but we're also a team and a unit, and we try to play together and help each other out as much as possible.
Atlanta need to find a break. Well, Optic is in a 100-point cost on map. Number one, that's 3 dead in the feed. Only player is Slasher. He gets contact.
People often forget the competition it's got its up and downs, peaks and valleys. And you can't enjoy the success if you don't have failure, right? If you're always winning, it becomes sort of like, meh, they won again. There has to be some adversity to the story in order for the story to develop in a way in which it's gonna keep you engaged and hoping for something good.
FaZe right now have got one heck of a setup, and they're not losing their gunfights. Dashing, a bit of a slow performance, starts to make his presence felt. Look at the spawns. That makes the play. The spawns are close. This is your chance, Nixon. This is your chance, and there it is!
Life as a professional esports athlete, it is a grind. We're literally the best players in the world. We put in a lot of time. We sacrifice a lot of different things. There's a lot of highs and lows, and you're always battling to keep your spot.
This tattoo is an M40 rifle from Call of Duty 4. Tommy got an intervention, which is the sniper rifle, the bolt-action sniper rifle. It is a friendship that's lasted longer than a decade, right? And there's something to be said, especially when you're rivals, especially when you're opponents, especially when you're both fighting for players, you're both fighting for sponsorships, you're both fighting to be the best. You know, and that's what it was. It was I think it was more of a sign of I see you and I respect you.